Hey, welcome to Echoes of MBAT with Noura. This is your host, Noura Almasi. Welcome to the show. I really enjoy talking to you guys every Tuesday at 5 p.m. So I'm glad you are here. I'm very grateful that you are watching the show. You are sending us your feedback. I'm very grateful for every single guest that agrees to be on the show and to share their experience with me and you. Because everyone comes here, they want to share a story with you, they want to motivate you. So I'm grateful for all of you. And if you would like to be on the show, again, email me at hello at echoesofmbax.net. I love to hear from you. Today, in this show today, we have a lot of great things to unpack. We're going to have two special segments we recorded before with our friend Firas. You're going to hear from him. There's a lot of great things he's sharing about business, being a business owner, starting a business. So make sure you stay with me until the end of the show to hear from Firas, to also hear from my guest Jhoana. She's going to talk about home care for elderly. She shared a lot of information about her career and things that she finds her career as interesting, and she loves what she's doing to provide the help for elderly. We're bringing guests from guests. We're bringing guests from all walk of lives, and we are happy to bring them on this stage on Echoes of Impact. Today, I wanted to take this opportunity to talk to you more, let you know who I am, because a lot of you don't really know a lot about me. We always talk about nonprofits, business, other stuff. Maybe you know I'm tax professional, but you don't know a lot about me. And I wanted to take this opportunity to connect more with you, to share parts of my life with you guys. So my name obviously is Noura Almasi. I am a single mom with two wonderful kids they are adults. So they both of them graduated already from school, from UIC, and they started their career. I have started Noura's Books, which is a tax and accounting firm. I started the firm back in 2021, right after COVID, or at that time. I wanted to be first like bookkeeping. That's it. Didn't think about anything else. I was like, I want to be, I have a firm and I'm just gonna do bookkeeping. That's it. Then when I registered the company and then I signed up for a coaching program, in that first month, before generating any penny from the company, my coach was talking about taxes, and I had a question for her. I told her, hey, I don't want to do taxes, I just want to do bookkeeping. And she asked me one simple question: why not? And it took me a few seconds to tell her, yeah, why not? I guess I can try. Let me do that and see if I like it or not. And I started learning about taxes. I became an enrolled agent, and I started taking clients for taxes, accounting, bookkeeping, CFO, everything. And I ended up loving doing taxes because what I found out, it's not boring like I thought it can be. It's not something that's, oh my God, scary, because most of us are not comfortable when someone says IRS, right? Like we get nervous, we get like we are afraid of messing up with anything relating to IRS. A lot of us maybe don't open the letters coming from the IRS because we don't want to see what's in there, which is all wrong practices. So don't do that if you are doing this. So when I started doing the taxes, I noticed that it's really fun. Every client has their own story, and it's really unique to them. And I found out myself like digging into the tax law, digging more into each and every case of my clients, even though they seem maybe similar from outside. But when you dig in, you find out they're really different. They're really, truly different. They have maybe this tiny thing. Someone can pay like thousands of dollars, but someone else, because a specific circumstances, they maybe get that money, the same money, but in refund instead. Some people, they might need to do an action, and that obviously done by tax planning usually. That can save them tons of money if they start the tax planning before the end of the year. So I enjoyed this process. I enjoyed doing taxes. I enjoyed saving money for my client, whether they are in business or individuals. I enjoyed also saving nonprofits tons of money, because I started seeing a lot of nonprofits with penalties letter saying, some of them owe like 50,000. Other nonprofits might owe more than 100,000, like multiple six figures in penalties to the IRS, just because they did not do their taxes. Or maybe they have done their taxes wrong. And there are a lot of reasons, okay? So I started to get very passionate about that. So I started my YouTube channel because I felt there's a lot of education missing. A lot of education needs to get into the people, because I believe if people know better, they will do better. If they're not doing something, because they just don't know. So I felt a responsibility to tell people about what they have to do, to educate them more about tax law, about business, about nonprofit practices. So that's how I started the YouTube channel, coming from Noura's books. And by the way, talking about YouTube channel, I have one YouTube channel like for Noura's books, which is the main one. But I noticed lately that I'm talking sometimes nonprofit, some other time I'm talking business and taxes. So that's kind of making those education not reaching out to people. So I decided to separate. So I started a new YouTube channel for tax and accounting tip with Noura. It's totally new. It's going to be only business and tax related. That's it. The other YouTube channel is going to stay for nonprofits. Just so if you are interested on nonprofit education, you can just listen or go watch Noura's Books channel. If you are just caring about looking for tax and accounting for businesses and personal life, then you can get into the tax and accounting tip with Noura. This way it's easier for you, because I really truly care about the education, because I want you to know what you have to do so you can live a better life, save more money, don't pay unnecessarily money for taxes, know where you spend your money, invest them well so you can save in taxes. And part of the education is this show, Echoes of Impact. Now Media has a lot of business shows. Each show like has different audience, different hosts, and we all want to educate you. We want to facilitate this knowledge and make it available to you wherever you are. If you are watching on TV, listening to us in the radio, maybe right now on YouTube, or from the Now Media TV websites. And right now, if you have not heard yet, here's the news. Echoes of Impact is available now on all podcasts, Spotify, Apple, and Audible. All three podcasts. So you can watch Echoes of Impact on your favorite podcast. Make sure you follow Echoes of Impact. Make sure you watch the show. Make sure you communicate with me. Let me know what you want to see, What do you want to hear about? If you would like to be with me on this show so I can talk to you, you have a message maybe to deliver to people, let me know, communicate with me. I can't wait to hear from you. And I can't wait for you to hear from my guests. Like I said, we're gonna have two special segments with Firas, and then we're going to have my friend Jhoana. Stay with me and stay with me. And after the break, we'll be back with my guests. This is Echoes of Impact with Noura. We'll be right back. Welcome back. This is your host, Noura Almasi, and this is Echoes of Impact with Noura. Today, we're going to continue on sales. We're going to talk to our friend, Feras Alhlou. He is the owner of Startup with Firas, and he has been here on the show, and we are going to continue the conversation about sales with him. Welcome back to the show, Firas.
Thank you so much for having me. Looking forward to it.
Yes, thank you. So you are in the business of creating contents right now with Startup with Firas. And guys, if you did not subscribe to that channel, go ahead and do it. Find him on YouTube. But can you speak more about like creating content? A lot of people, they're not willing to create content, or they think also creating content is the sale process. And that's it. And they wait for the sales to come.
Yeah. I mean, there are different types. So when at the dawn of the internet back in 2003, when we started our very first business, and we were the whole search engine optimization thing was like, they say content is king. And that was you produce good content, you get customers. I think it still holds true. Content is king. And the idea is you produce content that is relevant to your potential buyer. So if you provide IT consulting, so maybe you write about how websites are getting hacked, how personal accounts are getting hacked. If you're an AT&T customer, there was a recent issue with the data breach. So I think if you produce, whether you talk on podcasts, you get on interviews, you write on your own blog post, on your own website, you go on social media. I think producing content that is relevant to your audience, it's effective. Now, people say there's a lot of yes, there's a ton of content. Can you make it different? Can you add your perspective? Can you take a strong opinion on things? Can you maybe localize it? So the idea is these days, you don't have to do content marketing. You can do other things. You can do paid marketing. You can have a landing page and go and buy Facebook ads or maybe Google ads and or Amazon ads. You can do all sort of different things. You can go and just have a basic like one-page website that's professional, and then go to spend all your time and money at networking events and go to conferences and get leads. So there are different ways to get leads, but the idea, if you want to invest in content, don't listen to anyone who tells you, yeah, just go to ChatGPT, produce a page, put it on your website, and then traffic will come. No, it doesn't work that way. I think you have to know your clients. You have to know your target audience. What is it that they're looking for? What are their hopes and aspirations and wishes and their pain points and their challenges? And then write about that. And then you package what you write or what you say or what you do in videos. You package it that works well in the platform. So again, the platform could be your own website, your own blog, or it could be one of the social media platform. I would say initially for a small business owner, stick with one platform, get it figured out on one platform, get some traction, get some followers, get some engagement, and then you can expand to other things.
Awesome. So this is the marketing aspect. What would that be enough, or how should they follow up like on sales? Or would that bring sales?
Yeah. So in a previous company, we had a blog and we invested heavily in that blog. We would publish twice a week for a long time. And we became very well known in our niche at the time in digital analytics. And I can tell you almost every time we had a lead, almost every time. And by that time, we were selling to Fortune 1000, Fortune 500. They would reference in that sales process, one of the stakeholders would say, yeah, we saw this on your blog post. So the blog post or the blog is not, or maybe the social media or the video, the social media post or something that you produce, maybe a worksheet to help people maybe do their, fill in their information, whatever you produce that's useful, that works. And one of, someone would see it and say, yeah, okay, this was helpful, this was valuable, let me talk to this person. So it might not be the one that's going to close, that's going to close the deal for you, but to close a deal, to get a qualified lead and to nurture them and close a deal, I mean, there are many things that have to happen, right? Including pricing, including your professionalism, including your responsiveness, including you understanding the needs of the client and proposing something that meets their need. So all of that, and then having quality content will definitely help you in that buyer journey from the minute they started to look for what you offer till the minute they sign your contract. Good content, quality content will always help. It will not close the deal for you, but it is one of the things that will differentiate you from maybe your competitors.
Nice. So what do you think the tools that in marketing as every small business owner should have? Like what
Yeah, so I would say there's so many things. I think based on there's a study that is published every year, and it's actually this very, very busy infographic with like the logos of all the companies in what they call MarTech, marketing technology. You're talking about, it used to be hundreds, like 10, 15 years ago. Now, like, and thousands of marketing tools, right? So there's so many. So I think look at where are you going to spend your efforts as a business owner? Again, I'm all in favor of focusing on one thing, like one channel, one marketing channel, one marketing program. So whatever tools you need to support that program, invest in. So for example, if you are going to produce a weekly or a monthly newsletter for your clients, maybe to retain them and upsell them, or maybe for your leads, then invest in an email system. And there are many of them, MailChimp, Constant Contact, so many of them. Initially, you don't need any advanced features. So if you, let's say you're looking into paid ads, Google ads, and you want to make sure you have a nice website, a nice landing page, and then understand about how keywords and paid ads work. So it really depends on, I think, what you're trying to invest in. If you're active on social media and you're publishing on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, then maybe investing in one of those tools that will help you automate the publishing part of it, like a Zoho Social, or again, I don't have any affiliation with any of them, any of the brands I mentioned, but they all provide, I think, a good base for small, for small businesses. So look, and I will end with this. I always advise founders on this 80-20 rule. It's called the Pareto rule. Basically, if you're investing $2 or $1 on technology, you want to budget $9 on the people who will maintain it. This could be your time or maybe someone you hire, and the people who will run it and the people who use it. A lot of us, we buy a piece of software, and we think it's going to solve our problems. This is the tip of the iceberg. You have to really get into it, know it, use it, optimize it. So invest time in learning and mastering the tool, and not as much as buying like the best software and then not maintaining that software or using it properly.
Nice. So would you consider the CRM as sales or marketing tool, or both?
Yeah, so a lot of these days you'll see a bit of an overlap. CRMs started customer relationship management systems, basically systems to house and organize your sales data, your contact information, your opportunities, information about the company, all of that. So that started as a sales platform many years ago. I think now you're seeing some I would say integration or some even overlap. Like if you're using HubSpot, they started as a lead nurturing marketing lead nurturing type platform. Now they also have a CRM. So it is a sales tool, I think, as a base, and then use it, I would say, religiously to capture all the data about your leads, because you will forget and things will slip through the cracks. So we won't have time to go into a lot of things on CRMs, but definitely something you want to use and build that muscle to capture the information from your interactions with leads and record these and record next steps and record what you've learned about the lead, because especially for some of the services, it might take like 6 to 8 weeks to close a deal. And if you have 20 leads you are working with, you're just going to forget what's going on with each of these leads.
Yeah, this is very important because we certainly forget. Like I look at my data from last month, I think, who's that person? Let me remember. If I don't have my notes, there's no way I can remember anything. And I'm trying now to write personal things, what they said, so I can follow up with them on it, because you connect with people on that level, which is really nice, and make your relationship with them is very different. So when would you say a business owner must have a CRM right now, and they cannot do it DIY anymore?
Yeah, I would say start with a Google sheet. And again, we have a DIY CRM sheet on the video on our channel. And I think once you get to, depending on the business, like 50 qualified leads, it's just going to get really hard to do things in a spreadsheet. And then you go to a lot of these systems, they have packages, and you go on Gartner, and I think we mentioned that in the video. They tell you the top 20. Gartner is a research company, top 20 CRMs, but there are a lot of them, including CRM, Salesforce, Zoho, HubSpot, others. They have packages for small businesses, and you pay monthly or maybe annually. So start to use it gradually. At least initially, just store the data. Like, here's the lead, first name, last name, email. Here's what I learned, and then the next step. I mean, and then over time, you can start to filter on, show me all the qualified leads I have, and then what marketing campaign brought those leads. And if you're spending $1,000 a month on a marketing campaign that is bringing you unqualified leads, you know what to do next month. You're going to turn off that campaign, right? So having that data and taking the time to enter the data is really the hard part for sales. You know, like you go to networking events and you met 20 people. Yes, that night or the next morning, you got to take 30 minutes and enter all that data in the CRM. If you don't do it, then no one on your team will do it. And then you will have a piece of software that you paid for, but it's not working for you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Firas. This was great. And guys, this is very important. So if you're not doing the sales, you do not have a business, eventually you will stay out of business. Thank you so much, Firas, for all this information. This is Echoes of Impact with Noura. We'll be right back. Welcome back. This is Echoes of Impact with Noura, and this is your host, Noura Almasi. We are back with our friend Firas. Firas was talking about sales, CRM, a lot of great stuff for that necessary for every business owner. Whether you are already in business or thinking to start one, you are going to get tons of value for what Firas has been sharing with us. He himself was able to grow multiple businesses to 7 and 8 figures. So you want to listen closely and you want to subscribe to Startup with Firas. Make sure to do that. He always has great advices there and very fun videos. So welcome back, Firas.
Thank you for having me again, Noura.
Of course. So one of the challenging tasks that business owners have is pricing. A lot of people think, oh, if I put this price, people don't buy. But without realizing, they may be losing money, not making any money, but no, they're paying for their clients to have this instead of profiting. So what would you say? How can people define this pricing strategy and making sure they're making profit, because this is why we are in business?
Yeah. So if you're just the advice is different based on where you are in your growth or in your business stage. So if you are in an early stage, you just started, or you're about to start, or you've been struggling, I would say, this may be counterintuitive, I would say sell at any price initially, only for a short amount of time, because I want you to build that sales muscle. I want you to build that confidence that I can sell. Yes, you might break even, you might lose a little bit of money. Don't lose your shirt, like just don't go too cheap. But initially, I would say the first 3 to 5 clients, or if you've been struggling for a long time, just sell and sell. Go out and pitch and send proposals and learn from that. That's really important. Now, if you stay in this mode for a long time, you will run out of business, as you said, Noura. So once you built that muscle, now we want to fine tune things. So now you have more confidence. as they say, competence builds confidence. So now that you know what you're doing, you're delivering, clients are happy, then you can look at it and say, okay, well, I know this stuff, clients are happy. Then you can maybe potentially change your pricing model. You go from hourly to maybe project based. Maybe you can increase your pricing. You can maybe add services to it, but initially get the revenue. Don't worry about the profitability, just get, and then later understand like what is making your clients happy, what is so unique about you, how is it that you can differentiate, how can you stand out from the competition, and then that's going to be your competitive advantage, and you can charge more. So if you are very super responsive, that's just in your DNA, and that's how you built your company, then you're competing on responsiveness. And then you can charge a lot of money for responsiveness because you'll attract people who appreciate responsiveness. This is me. If you want to sell something to me, I'm responsive, and I love people who are responsive. So whether it's I'm at a restaurant or whether I'm buying something like for $20,000, if the salesperson is not responsive and they really show me that they have a thirst for the sale, they're not going to get my business. So I think over time you have options. You can increase your pricing. You can change your pricing model, and we can talk about that maybe later if you like. But definitely, you don't want to be stuck in a place where you're not profitable for a long time.
That's awesome. So what are those pricing models?
Yeah. So we have an article on this. I think we listed 7 pricing models, and one of the most common, I would say, hourly or project based. So and there are pros and cons. I don't say, not even pros and cons, that they just work differently. Like hourly, basically, okay, I'm going to sell you 10 hours a month, or no, this project is going to take 10 hours. It's $100 an hour, $1,000, we're done. Now, if you've done this enough, so you know the scope very well, you know what's involved, you know what you need the client to provide to you as well, because there are a lot of dependencies on clients, then you can potentially take that 10-hour project that you sold at 1,000 and potentially you can sell it for $1,500. So now you're moving from hourly to project based. Now, the beauty about hourly is you're charging by the hour. The con of hourly is that if the client says I only need 5 hours, then you did not make the additional 5. Project based, it's fixed price. You're not looking at the hours. So if you know your craft well, and if you know what's involved, and you put a very detailed scope around what you're delivering, and you lay out, here are my responsibilities, here are the responsibilities of my clients, here, and you said that kind of in a very, very controlled fashion, those project-based pricing initiatives can be very profitable. But if you don't set proper parameters and you tighten up the scope, you could lose a lot of money on project-based, because you can't go back and say, hey, I spent, if you budgeted 20 hours and you spent 40 hours, you're eating the additional 20 hours, right? So this is where I would first maybe start hourly and understand what it takes, and then gradually you can go to project-based. And there are other models. For example, if you can somehow, and this is a pro tip, and I did this early on, I heard this from a sales coach, see if you can do a recurring revenue stream. If you can start a recurring revenue stream some way, somehow, through a service that a monthly audit, a quarterly audit, you can do a maintenance, upkeep, you can do whatever the case might be. You can go, and if you're a copywriter, you write content, say, I will write 1 blog post, 1 newsletter for you a month, I will charge you $500. And then over time, you can move that up to $750, then to $1,000, right? So if you can see if you can find ways, you can maybe resell a software and get a markup on it initially, right? So there are a lot of creative ways to get a recurring revenue stream going, and that will really help you a lot in stabilizing the business, and also allow you to hire and grow, because now you have, although some people might leave you, there might be some churn, but you have a pretty stable fixed amount that you're getting every month. That will give you a lot of stability in the business.
Yeah, I can't agree with you more. Actually, this is one of my goal at Noura's Books, to have that recurring revenue coming. And it's not hard for tax and accounting, because you have bookkeeping, CFO services. Even my coaching program now, that we changed the pricing model to have the entry level and the entry price, and then like a monthly recurring. That makes it easier for the client to get in, and then easier for us because we have this money coming in. monthly. This is amazing. And thank you so much for writing this blog post about it. And I know another blog post you already shared is about the commission. When you're hiring that salesperson, like,
Yes.
how do we pay them? Like, this is one of the struggles as well.
That is, yes, yes. So everything I write is about the issues and mistakes I made. So, right. So, I mean,
That's the
commissions
best.
is, I think someone can write a small book on commissions, but basically it could be a percentage of the sale. It could be a flat fee on the sale. It could be performance based. If you sell up to $10,000 a month, I'll give you 5%. And if you sell above 10,000, I'll give you like an extra 1% bonus. So there are a lot of ways to do it. The article goes into the details, but I think about your think about your you want to give them commission only, you want to give them commission and maybe small base salary, or just base salary. So there's different pros and cons to each one of those. Hopefully people can check out the article and pick the ones that works for them best.
So from your experience, which one would you say is most effective?
I would say, again, based on the phase of your business, if you are just starting, maybe commission only, because that's not going to cost you a lot of money. At the same time, it's hard to retain or attract senior talent. But if you are a bit more established, you're growing, I think base plus commission, I think it's because the salesperson will have enough stability that they have a base, maybe just minimum, but they know they have something coming, and then they can get the commission that could motivate them to do a whole lot more and get, make more money. So maybe my preference would be base plus salary, base salary plus commission. But initially, if money is tight, maybe look for people who can just do commission only.
Sounds good. This is very helpful for us because, like, as you grow in business, it's very hard to maintain like doing the sales, even though in my opinion, the business owner will still continue to sell their business like forever. But still you need that support of salespeople to be able to eventually cover those costs and make sure everything is going smoothly in your business in terms of operation and paying your talents. Now, speaking of paying money, pricing, commission, that will bring us to the financial literacy. In your opinion, what level of financial knowledge should management or business owners have to enable them to grow their business?
I mean, if you don't have financial literacy and you want to start a business, it's a disaster. And I know a lot of us, and based on statistics, in the development world, women actually, they're 8 points behind men on financial literacy. So if you're a woman and want to start a business, I definitely advise that. Now, I'm not saying men are better than women. I'm just talking about stats in general. A lot of men have no idea about how to start a business, how to run it, how to manage the finances. So learn about basic P&L, profit and loss. Just learn basic, but like the difference between cash, revenue, profit, expenses, different categorization of expenses. So there's a lot of good stuff out there. Talk to an accountant and they can guide you through some of this stuff. But just understanding a cash flow, cash basis, recurring, like they're basic concepts, and maybe get a small book on finance and business finance. I think that would serve you a lot well. You don't have to be a master in that domain. You don't have to go and learn and do this like yourself. You can hire experts who will help you, but you can't manage what you don't understand. I think, especially as a new business owner, you have to understand some basics about accounting and finances and just the nature of sales and transactions with money and all that. So invest in learning about just finances and accounting. I think it'll serve you well.
Thank you so much, Firas. Thank you so much for everything you shared with us. How can people reach out to you and find you?
Yeah, thank you so much, Noura. It's been fun. You can go to startupwithferas.com, and Feras is spelled Feras, or you can go to our YouTube channel at startupwithferas.com, at startupwithferas.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We enjoyed talking to you. And guys, we will be right back. This is Echoes of Impact with Noura, and this is your host, Noura Almasi. See you after the commercial. Welcome back. This is Echoes of Impact with Noura, and this is your host, Noura Almasi. I'm excited to introduce my last guest for today, my friend Jhoana Hernandez. I am very grateful that she agreed to come onto the show today. Welcome to the show, Jhoana. How are you today?
Hi, Nora. Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited.
I'm excited to have you here. Thank you. Jhoana, can you tell people a little bit about your background, your career? How did you end up um, with your career right now, with where you at right now? I'm not gonna tell people yet. I'm gonna let you tell them. So the stage.
Definitely. Yes. So I am a certified nursing assistant. I started working in a nursing home when I was 20. Um, I did the skills nursing, the facilities, the assisted living. And after a while, I did activities aid in one of the facilities for 2 years. After the 2 years of doing the activity aid, I moved in I bought my own house. So when I bought my house, I moved away from the city. I was living in Chicago, moved into the south suburbs.
Mhm.
Once I did that, I had to get a job closer to home. So that's when I applied to Right Choice Home Care as a caregiver. I was a caregiver with them for 4 years. After my client moved out of her home into a facility in Colorado, I got offered the scheduling coordinator position with Right Choice, and it's going to be 2 years of that this upcoming August.
Awesome. So why do you like what you're doing?
I believe you have to love what you do in order to stay in the same field
Mhm.
for as long as I have. I have the patience. I really enjoy giving care, the right care for a person, especially with disabilities or, when they're seniors, the end of life, make sure that they have dignity at the end of life and not just because they can walk as they could before. They shouldn't be able to go out and do activities, for example, go out for lunch with their fellow neighbors. So I enjoy making sure the others can still stay active. I love to see them thrive, and even if it's like in a certain conditions, they can go out for long walks, but they can still sit outside.
Mm, nice. So can you explain more like what's the services you provide? Like, so if I have a senior at home, how do I know now this is the time to connect with you so you can provide help?
Okay. So, for example, if it's your grandma, your grandpa, your dad, you can see a decline on how they're functioning under everyday activities.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They can no longer pretty much serve themselves milk. They can no longer cook for themselves. That is a decline. They can no longer remember what time it is. You will see a decline. And then you will definitely want to call someone, to be there so they can facilitate the needs.
Mm-hmm. And what exactly like you do when you're there? Like, do you just sit when the family is not there, or like do you provide medical help, or just what exactly? Because I know like a lot of people, they don't know, like maybe after being in the hospital, this is when they call you. Maybe
Yes.
after they think when you say end of life, maybe cross people mind hospice. Is it hospice or is it not way before that?
So we are a non-medical home care agency.
Mm-hmm.
We provide all the services that you just mentioned. So end of life, for example, hospice,
Mm-hmm.
we can be there 24 hours, 7 days a week until the end of life happens. So in the meantime, family members can go out and still, do their life. They still have kids to take care of, right? We also provide with the essential needs, for example, showers, making, preparing meals for them during the day. It could be breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We
Mm-hmm.
would also do a light house cleaning, making sure they have clean laundry throughout the week. We can get groceries for them, provide transportation to and from doctor's appointments, and all in a safe space with someone that is qualified, that has the skills, someone that has a background check, no criminal background history, somebody that has training, for example, for a patient that has dementia or Alzheimer's, someone that has Parkinson's, our caregivers are trained and can take care of them.
Nice. This is amazing because like all of us, like when we grow up and we have parents who cannot take care of themselves or any loved one, maybe a neighbor, anyone that we care about, and we cannot just stay and take care of them all the time. It's very nice to have someone that we trust to
Ex-
provide that care and that safe space for them so we can go to work, we can do what we need to do in order to also provide for them as they're going through this. So if someone may be wondering right now, is it something that has to get paid out of pocket, or is it something a government will cover or insurance will cover? How does that work in terms of financial responsibility?
We pretty much take care of clients that have private pay. They do private pay, but we also take clients that do have veterans benefits. We also take clients that have Aetna, Blue Cross Blue Shield, or long-term insurances
Nice.
that they can help cover at least some of the cost, and we can work with them, right? They can probably, the insurance can cover half if they need 24 hours, and then the other half will be on them. At least they're getting the care they needed.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. So can you share with us any story that really dear to your heart, or like you remember that because of working with you, you saved someone from, any story that sticks with you?
Yes. Oh my God. So it's so many stories I can have, right?
Yeah,
For
go ahead.
example, the client that I was with for 4 years, it was Monday through Friday. And then when COVID hit, the family just wanted me. We would go to line dancing. We would go to lunch with their neighbors. She was just really, really appreciative of everything we did or I did for her, and the company in general, because Sharon and Jonathan make sure that they have communication with the family about the care throughout the process, right? If they need something, we will call and let them know. But yes, I just can, I learned a lot from her, a lot. She used to play the piano.
Oh,
So, she will play the piano in the evenings. That's something that I encourage her to do because it will bring her memories. It will make her feel like at home, and it will still make her feel like she was able to do stuff.
nice.
Yes.
Oh, that's amazing. So, wow. And that was during COVID, and you still were able to go stay with her and offer the help. That's nice.
Yes, especially in COVID where family members were not able to travel. They were able to call the agency because the caregivers, were using PPE materials, face mask. Some of them, we didn't require them to have vaccination due to, maybe their religion. But most of them did have it. I did have it. So I was able to be with her and my family at the same time, still continue to work.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. Well, thank you
Yes.
for everything you did. Any other thing, like any message from you that you want to let people know before we are gone for today?
Yes. So I think that it's getting educated of what home care. Home care is not just a caregiver coming to your house and sitting with you for hours. It's pretty much having someone that can help you do your daily living activities to make sure that you're still active in your community and still live a full life, even though, you have some medical conditions that limit you.
Nice. So, I have a question. If
Mhm.
someone maybe get interested and a lot of people would love to have a career where they help older people.
Yes.
So what is the requirement for someone to be able to to pursue this career and be in home care?
Okay, so for example, me, right? I came in from a scale facility where I was taking care of like 15, 20 people. And, as we get older, we want something that's less heavy for our bodies. So definitely someone that's coming from a facility, from like skilled nursing, they need at least 1 year of experience. They do have to have, they don't have to be a CNA. They do have to have transportation. They do have to have be able to pass a background check and a criminal background and an e-verification. And pretty much, I feel like the first thing that they should have is the caring in them.
Yeah. Yes, they have to be compassionate about the people.
Yes,
Also,
compassion
yes.
and make sure that you're doing this for the caring, right?
Mhm.
Because you need a lot of patience because we have clients that have dementia, Alzheimer's, and they don't cooperate as easy as a normal person.
Awesome. Thank you so much for doing this. Thank you for all the information you provided. I'm sure a lot of people get value of what you told them today because like very few that we know about home care and caregiving for the elderly. Thank you so much, Jhoana. Very
You're
nice.
welcome.
Very nice to have you here. Okay, guys, this is the end of Echoes of Impact today. I want to remind you to email me at hello@echoesofmback.net. Again, that is hello@echoesofmback.net. If you would like to come into the show, if you have a story to share, if you want us to see, to show you, to bring someone as a guest that you want some information to be provided in this show, would love to hear from you. Again, you can email me, hello@echoesofmback.net. This emails come directly to me. I would love to hear from you. Until next time, keep making an impact.
This has been a Now Media Networks feature presentation. All rights reserved.